Rex Ryan has revealed the truth on getting an interview with the New York Jets while also throwing some shade towards Aaron Rodgers, coaches Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich, and also explained why he believes he is going to be the next New York Jets head coach, and we are going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here. And if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe. 19% of viewers are subscribed. However, we're going to jump right into things because Rex Ryan, as we all know, is getting an interview with the New York Jets for the head coaching position to try to come back and be the New York Jets head coach once again. And because of that, Matt has grown a quarter of the size that he used to be. Now he's much bigger than me, which I'm annoyed about, but that's okay. Look, guys, Rex Ryan, as we know, is one of the Jets' options at head coach. They're doing an extensive head coaching search. There's a lot of different names coming through the door. There's so many updates today alone on coaches, and we are going to cover everyone, but right now, talking about the boy, the fat man himself, Rex Ryan, who revealed a lot of insight into what would happen if he was the Jets head coach. One of these things being about Aaron Rodgers and the energy there, saying clearly when you have a guy that doesn't show up for mandatory minicamp, and by the way, he's your quarterback coming off an injury, I think that's an absolutely ridiculous message that you send to the team. That we said this on live TV, and then went on to keep going, saying if he comes back, things would be different. If he's back, meaning Rodgers, it ain't going to be the same country club, show up whenever the hell you want to show up. That ain't going to happen. I'll just leave it at that. And as Rich Cimini mentioned, Rodgers, who blamed that absence where he was in Egypt on a scheduling mix-up, was fined approximately $100,000 by the Jets for missing the minicamp. Then coach Robert Saleh called it an unexcused absence, though he wasn't particularly critical of the four-time MVP. Rodgers, 41 years old, is undecided on his future, saying he will take time to consider it, but also won't keep people waiting for too long. Matt, right there, what Rex Ryan just said is by far the most I've ever wanted him to coach the New York Jets after hearing that. Now I want him. I love him.
Okay, so of course when Robert Saleh called it an unexcused absence, but still didn't really punish Aaron Rodgers for it. That was part of the last coaching regime, kind of not punishing players for making mistakes. Everything was they just said, oh my God, excuse me. They said, when you made a mistake, it's okay. We'll get him next time, stuff like that. Rex Ryan comes in, that would not be okay. He would coach the team correctly. He would coach them. He wouldn't be their friend. We've talked about that. We know what Rex Ryan would be as a culture builder. This is exciting to hear because he wouldn't let Aaron Rodgers have too much control over the team, and Rex Ryan would make sure he puts his stamp on the team and not let any one player be bigger than the name on the side of the helmet.
Yeah, I mean, I hear about it. I knew it. Look, the thing with Rex Ryan is that he's muted. That's why you can't hear the coughing, because Matt's a courteous guy, unlike me, who sniffles and sneezes into my microphone. With Rex Ryan saying this, it is a lot to look at, basically knowing that the culture would change. I don't want that country club vibe either. I've always been on the side of, I get it, having Rex Ryan back would be fun, but like most Jets fans, I want to move forwards. I don't want to move backwards, and hiring Rex Ryan feels like there's just such a high likelihood of moving backwards or basically staying stationary, because you don't know if Rex Ryan's defense is going to be able to adjust to modern football. Really, if Rex Ryan is going to be able to adjust his defensive formations to modern football. We've seen that the defense has changed a lot, especially where safeties are being placed now, and Ryan's going to have to adjust to that, and there's a high likelihood he could. He hasn't been coaching football in a while, but he has been someone who's been around the game of football. He's been an ESPN analyst. He's been there. He's watching football intently. He loves the New York Jets. He truly believes he could be the best guy for the New York Jets. And honestly, I don't think he'd be the number one option, and there's guys like Aaron Glenn who it feels like would be a better choice, especially nowadays. He would be a more modern head coach. Obviously, the Jets are interviewing Josh McCown now, which would be interesting because McCown would be an offensively minded guy. Also, side note, I would love him as the offensive coordinator, given we could always talk about that at another time. I'm just saying that it would be a fun idea, especially with the way McCown helped Sam Darnold and then helped Sam Darnold again in Minnesota. So it is interesting. And my microphone went out for a second. But
That's okay, Chris. I can take it over here. The New York Jets, according to Vegas odds, the Jets' options at head coach are dwindling right now. And it looks like Ben Johnson, who was a lot of people's favorite option as the New York Jets' next head coach, he is going to have no interest in the New York Jets. He is not even going to get an interview. Aaron Glenn getting linked to the Saints. He could be potentially off the table as well. That would open up Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator from the Buffalo Bills, as long as also offensive mind with the 2019 LSU championship football team. Those are some guys to look at. Vrabel, we think, is off the table now because of the Patriots happenings. So we believe the New York Jets are kind of getting pushed out of that S tier, that top tier of coaching candidates, and unfortunately getting put into a group of lower guys that aren't as good as the Vrabel, aren't as good as the Ben Johnson. A guy also getting interviewed with Bobby Slowick, another Ben Johnson type. He's the offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans. Offense looked amazing last year. This year, their offensive line was really, really bad, so that's why C.J. Stroud struggled. But we have a pretty solid offensive line. Olu Fashanu has looked amazing. Elijah Vera Tucker is hopefully getting a long-term deal here soon. We got to get the right tackle long-term worked out. I like Tippmann at center, and we're going to see what John Simpson does. But we got pieces on the offensive line. Bobby Slowick, if he was the head coach, he could come in and his offense could look something like it looked in 2022 with C.J. Stroud, or 2023 with C.J. Stroud. That would be exciting. But the New York Jets head coaching jobs are definitely dwindling because guys are starting to figure out head coaching candidates are now able to see which jobs are open and which jobs aren't. And they're kind of picking where they want to be, and they're envisioning themselves in the future in one of those roles. And so far, other than Rex Ryan, it doesn't look like these top head coaches are picturing themselves coaching the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that top tier of the Ben Johnsons and Mike Vrabels are off the table. Johnson's been adamant that he doesn't want to coach the New York Jets. As you said, he's not getting the interview. Mike Vrabel's 100% going to the Patriots. There's no way around it. He changed his profile picture on Instagram to him when he was playing for the Patriots. He's going to the Patriots. It makes all the sense in the world for him to go to the Patriots. It's unfortunate, but that's what's happening. He also might have been using the Jets as a bit of leverage on the Patriots, as possibly thought by a few different people. However, who's the best coach available for the Jets? If you ask Rex Ryan, unsurprisingly, he said Rex Ryan. Rex mentioned saying, the reason I think I'm going to get it, meaning the Jets job, is because I'm the best guy for it. It ain't close. The thing you have to do is you have to connect with your football team. You have to connect with your fan base. The way they play, that's the most important thing. It's not just the X's and O's of it all. This Ben Johnson, I love him. I absolutely love him. But I'm a better candidate for this job than he would be. Rex Ryan basically just name-dropping whoever the hell he wants. Why? Because he's Rex Ryan. He's not sugarcoating anything. It's not how he acts. And I know we've said this a million times. It's just something the New York Jets need on their football team, is a guy who's going to look at this team and treat them in an old school style. Like, no, I'm not here to be your best friend. If we win, then yeah, we're going to get along. And if we lose, we might butt heads because we both want the same thing, but we'll be able to respect each other based off that. I'm not going to pat you on the back. If you miss training camp to go to Egypt, guess what? I might bench you. You never know. Rex Ryan, he's not going to treat a star differently from the 52nd guy on the team. He's going to do things the way that he does, and it's worked in the past. It's literally a matter of if his schemes can become modernized. And if they can, then I think he'd be a good head coach. I also think, just because this now feels like the place to potentially mention Josh McCown, I wouldn't mind if the Jets hired Rex Ryan, and then also there's a world where Rex would be pretty cool with trying to bring in McCown as the Jets offensive coordinator. I definitely would not call that a loss.
That's absolutely possible. I really like what he said about connecting with the fan base as well as the players, because that's what we've seen in Detroit with Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
All the fans are all in on his message. So they love what he does, and it makes the whole team have more of a community atmosphere to it. And people love playing there. They don't want to leave there. They really enjoy what's going on there. Of course, when you win 15 games in a season, it's pretty easy to enjoy what's going on. But Rex Ryan could have that type of effect on the New York Jets as well. That would be exciting. Should Rex Ryan be named the head coach of the New York Jets? As far as Josh McCown goes, I think, is a little bit too experimental for me. I would prefer someone who has experience calling plays, being our offensive coordinator. But if all those dry up, then I don't think, just like you said, don't think Josh McCown is a loss. I would think that there would be better options out as offensive coordinator for the Jets going forwards.
No, absolutely, I agree. The reason I really want to bring up Josh McCown in this video more than anything is kind of because we're already talking about guys who already have a history with the Jets. I know Aaron Glenn does it well, but Aaron Glenn is his own entity because right now it feels like he's probably the Jets' top choice outside of Vrabel. Vrabel's going to the Patriots, so there's that. I still would guess, and obviously there will be a video of us, or just one of us, talking about all the head coaches. But I would still guess at this point that Aaron Glenn is going to be the Jets head coach. I think there is a higher likelihood of Rex Ryan than people are expecting. And I think him talking about the fan base, like you said, first of all, I agree. I love that he's doing that. I think it's awesome. I mean, you look at the way Dan Campbell coaches, he connects with everyone. And I mean, there's no way to hate Dan Campbell. Like, it's impossible. Rex Ryan, he's hard to hate. And Dan Campbell's got that old school mentality of the way he coaches things. Yeah, he's friends and he's got his players back. So does Rex Ryan. But he's also not going to sugarcoat things. He'll get up in your face. He will 100% have your back. But at the same time, he's not there to be your best friend. He's there to be your coach and to win games. Because if he doesn't win games, guess who gets blamed? The head coach, and then he loses his job. Rex Ryan is going to act the exact same way. And I think there are some similarities there. And with Rex, look, I think it'd be cool, and I think one of the reasons why it's a higher likelihood than some people are believing is because we know Woody Johnson wants to do something that's flashy. Rex Ryan's one of the flashiest options because he's Rex Ryan, dude.
I would have to imagine he would be the second flashiest option outside of Deion Sanders, who is unlikely to make the leap to the NFL, but those are right
Definitely
up there. Those are your two flashiest options right there. However, Chris, do you think there's any chance that by this time tomorrow, Rex Ryan is like a heavy, heavy, heavy favorite or already announced as the head coach of the New York Jets for next year?
I think with the fact of Rex Ryan getting that interview tomorrow, and it's been the most publicized interview, I understand. Again, it's because it's flashy. Us, Samini, anyone who covers the New York Jets.
Is it flashy because it's a New York Jets thing, or is it flashy because Rex Ryan's on ESPN's Get Up and has his own radio talk shows and talks about it?
It's both. It's everyone knows who Rex Ryan is. The fact that this is the Jets makes... If Rex Ryan was getting an interview with the Saints, just because they have an opening as well. If he was getting an interview with the Saints or the Bears, it would still be pretty big news. Like, oh, Rex Ryan trying to get back into the game. The fact that it's with the former team, and because the Jets have not made the playoffs since Rex has been on the sidelines for the New York Jets, makes you think that, okay, there is a world here where this is the flashiest thing that Woody Johnson can do. It's also not the world's worst idea. And even if you're really anti-Rex Ryan, when you see him on the sidelines for the Jets, and it might be more amusing than anything else, you're going to crack a bit of a smile like, oh my God, he's the head coach again. But hey, he's fat, so that's a good thing.
Maybe that that extra fat will lead him to coaching football better. But one more thing about Dan Campbell. He's a guy who's a pure culture builder. He was a tight ends coach. He wasn't offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. He was a tight ends coach and then got elevated, through some more ranks. But Rex Ryan, if you have the guy who can build the culture, maybe, just maybe, he has the connections to find the other coordinators that can make the rest of the team work. It's still scary because he hasn't been in the league for a long time though. Like I would be scared but excited should Rex Ryan be the head coach of the New York Jets.
Matt, in journalism, when you're writing an article, the way you're supposed to do things is give the news and then the good and then the bad. That's how the articles work. I took one journalism class, got a C, so that's why I talk about sports for a living. But when you to end this on the note of, all right, well, maybe something a bit negative, it does scare me that the Jets are the only team to have interviewed Rex Ryan over the last how many years, and it's this year. It's obviously worrisome. It's going to be worrisome, but I have a weird amount of trust in Rex Ryan, if I'm being honest.
I think a lot of Jets fans do have a weird amount of trust. Not a majority, but a lot.
Yeah, well, Rex, if you come back, I'm going to support it. I'm going to trust the New York Jets, and I shouldn't, but I'll give Rex Ryan... I won't trust the New York Jets. I won't. but I will give them a chance because that's all we can do. Guys, what do you think of Rex Ryan? Let us know in the comments down below. Once the video rounding up a bunch of the coaches comes out, we will post a poll on the channel asking who your guys pick, as we'll take the top 5 options. We'll have some fun in community posts. Guys, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets.